Here's a number that should terrify every tech executive. Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Meta need 25 gigawatts of new power by 2030. That's the equivalent of 30 brand new nuclear reactors. Why? Because artificial intelligence is eating electricity faster than we can produce it. A single ChatGPT query uses 10 times more power than a Google search. And these companies have found their solution: nuclear energy. In this video, I'm breaking down 3 nuclear ETFs that could potentially 10x your investment by 2035, backed by verified data and recent announcements that changed everything. Today, we're diving deep into 3 nuclear energy ETFs with completely different strategies, all positioned to capture what's being called the nuclear renaissance. I'm using official data as of November 3rd, 2025, straight from the fund providers. Before we start, this is not financial advice. I'm sharing research and analysis, but you need to do your own due diligence before investing. Now let's get into it. Quick favor: hit like and subscribe right now, so YouTube shows this to more people who need to see it. The world is experiencing an AI power crisis that's forcing a complete rethinking of energy infrastructure. Data centers are becoming electricity black holes. Training a single large language model can consume as much power as 100 homes use in an entire year. Amazon has committed 1.9 gigawatts of nuclear power through 2042. Meta committed 2.5 gigawatts. Google partnered with Kairos Power for small modular reactors. Microsoft literally restarted 3 Mile Island Unit 1 specifically to power their AI operations. These aren't press releases or vague promises. These are multi-billion-dollar power purchase agreements with real capital committed. But here's where it gets interesting. 3 massive forces are converging right now to create what could be the biggest energy investment opportunity of the decade. First, tech giants are committing billions to secure nuclear power. Second, the U.S. government announced an $80 billion initiative in late October 2025 to support approximately 80 new Westinghouse reactor projects across the country. Third, we have a structural uranium supply deficit. Current global production is about 180 million pounds annually, but demand is hitting 190 million pounds. By 2030, projections show a shortage of 50 million pounds or more every single year. Why is this time different from previous nuclear hype cycles? Because uranium spot prices have climbed above $80 per pound, and industry consensus forecasts show fair value between $120 and $150 per pound. That's a valuation gap of 50 to 90%. Real money is being deployed, not just announced. The political support is bipartisan, and the fundamental supply-demand equation is unavoidable. You can't power AI data centers with solar panels at night or wind turbines when the wind stops blowing. Nuclear provides 24/7 baseload power, which is exactly what these massive computing operations require. Let's start with the most conservative option: the VanEck Uranium and Nuclear ETF, ticker NLR. This is the balanced play with the longest track record. NLR holds $3.98 billion in total net assets, making it the second largest uranium-focused fund. It's trading at a net asset value of $150.03 per share. Year-to-date, NLR has delivered 66.48% returns. That's the most conservative performance of our 3 ETFs. But here's the kicker. Over 5 years, it's delivered 27.81% annualized returns. That's proven consistent compounding through multiple market cycles. What makes NLR different is its balanced approach across the entire nuclear value chain. Its top holdings include Cameco at 7.94%, Constellation Energy at 7.27%, and Oklo at 6.95%. No single holding exceeds 8% of the portfolio, which creates a more defensive positioning compared to competitors. The sector breakdown tells the story: 48.29% in energy, 33.35% in utilities, and 18.27% in industrials. That utilities exposure provides steady income and lower volatility while still capturing the nuclear renaissance upside. Geographically, NLR is heavily weighted toward developed markets: 51.13% United States, 16.61% Canada, and 9.07% Australia. It carries the lowest expense ratio of all three ETFs at 0.56%. For cost-conscious investors, that's a meaningful advantage that compounds over time. The annual dividend yield is 0.85%, paid in December each year. Distribution history shows significant variability, from 61 cents in 2024 to $3.26 in 2023, reflecting underlying portfolio income and capital gains. NLR launched in August 2007, giving it the longest track record to evaluate performance across different market environments. This is your steady performer, ideal for investors who want nuclear exposure without extreme volatility. Now let's talk about the aggressive uranium mining powerhouse, Global X Uranium ETF, ticker URA. This is the largest nuclear ETF by a significant margin, commanding $5.1 billion in assets under management. Trading at $52.91 per share, URA has absolutely crushed it this year with 78.9% year-to-date returns. That's the highest YTD performance of our three funds. Over 1 year, it delivered 70.98%. The expense ratio sits at 0.69%, right in the middle between its competitors. Here's what makes URA radically different. Concentration. The top two holdings, Cameco at 20.23% and Oklo at 13.73%, represent nearly 34% of the entire portfolio. This creates massive amplification of uranium sector moves, both up and down. The sector breakdown is heavily tilted toward pure energy, 57.8% energy, 20.3% industrials, 15% utilities. URA also offers something unique: semi-annual dividend distributions in June and December, with yields ranging from 1.4 to 3.54% depending on market conditions. That's significantly higher income than competitors while maintaining aggressive growth exposure. Geographically, URA provides global diversification: 35.81% Canada, 34.64% United States, 8.31% Australia. That Canadian weighting is meaningful because Canada is one of the world's largest uranium producers. Let me tell you why the Cameco position matters so much. When the U.S. government announced that $80 billion Westinghouse reactor initiative in late October, Cameco stock surged approximately 21%. Cameco is the top holding across all three ETFs we're discussing, and it's the largest publicly traded pure-play uranium miner. With URA's 20% weighting in Cameco, that single announcement delivered massive portfolio impact. URA launched November 4, 2010, providing over 14 years of operational history. This fund is for aggressive investors who believe uranium prices are going significantly higher and want maximum exposure to mining companies that will benefit most from supply constraints. Now here's the one nobody's talking about enough: Range Nuclear Renaissance Index ETF, ticker NUKZ. This is the newest, most specialized, and potentially most explosive opportunity. NUKZ holds $819.53 million in assets, substantially smaller than URA and NLR, but don't let that fool you. Trading at approximately $73.30 per share, NUKZ has delivered 77.44 to 79.2% year-to-date returns. That's nearly matching URA's performance despite being launched only in January 2024. The one-year return stands at 69.38%. NUKZ carries the highest expense ratio at 0.85%, reflecting its specialized index construction and smaller asset base. The dividend yield is minimal at 0.04 to 0.05%, only about 3.7 cents per share annually. This isn't an income play. It's a pure capital appreciation bet on advanced nuclear reactor technology and construction. Here's what makes NUKZ absolutely unique. It's 51.41% industrials, not energy. This fund isn't primarily about mining uranium. It's about companies building the next generation of nuclear infrastructure. The top holdings tell the story. Cameco at 9.07% and Constellation Energy at 8.89% provide core nuclear exposure, but then you get Oklo at 4.33%, GE Vernova at 2.77%, Lockheed Martin at 2.89%. Rolls-Royce at 2.7%, Honeywell at 2.62%, and Quanta Services at 2.66%. These are aerospace, defense, and industrial companies providing equipment, engineering, and construction services for advanced reactors. Small modular reactors are the future of nuclear energy. Companies like Oklo and NuScale Power, both in NUKZ's top holdings, are developing factory-built, transportable reactors that can be deployed in months rather than the decade-plus timeline of traditional reactors. When tech companies need power fast, SMRs are the solution. NUKZ is 58% US-focused, capturing the domestic nuclear build-out story. One name across all three ETFs deserves special attention: Centrus Energy. This uranium enrichment company has surged over 500% year-over-year, driven by a $2 billion expansion of its facility in Piketon, Ohio. The U.S. government wants domestic uranium enrichment capacity to reduce dependence on Russian fuel. Centrus is positioned as a critical national security asset. Let's talk about the 10x thesis. To achieve 1,000% returns by 2035, a 10-year window, these ETFs need to sustain approximately 25 to 26% annualized returns. Sound impossible? All three funds are currently delivering 60 to 79% year-to-date returns. The structural tailwinds are massive. First, the uranium supply deficit. Production cannot meet demand, and building new mines takes 5 to 10 years. Second, data center power requirements are exploding with AI. We're talking about needing 30 new nuclear reactors worth of capacity. Third, government support is real. Over $200 billion committed globally to nuclear infrastructure through 2035. Fourth, uranium is undervalued. At $80 per pound versus consensus fair value of $120 to $150, there's 50 to 90% upside just to reach equilibrium pricing. NLR's 5-year track record of 27.81% annualized returns proves this level of performance is achievable in nuclear. The October 2025 government announcements and tech company commitments represent an inflection point. This isn't speculation anymore. It's infrastructure build-out backed by government money and corporate purchase agreements. But let's be honest about the risks. Nuclear permitting remains subject to regulatory delays. Uranium prices are highly sensitive to geopolitical events and supply disruptions. Small modular reactor technology, heavily weighted in NUKZ, is still in early commercialization phases, and all three funds have meaningful concentration risk, with top 10 holdings representing 45 to 65% of portfolio weight depending on the fund. These aren't index funds with hundreds of holdings. They're concentrated sector bets that will experience significant volatility. Here's your quick comparison. For expense ratios, NLR wins at 0.56%. For year-to-date performance, URA leads slightly at 78.9%. For dividend income, URA wins with semi-annual distributions up to 3.54% yield. For advanced reactor exposure, NUKZ is the specialized play. For track record, NLR wins with inception in 2007. So which one should you consider? If you're conservative and want diversified nuclear exposure with the lowest fees and proven track record, NLR is your choice. If you're aggressive and believe uranium prices are heading to $120 or higher, URA gives you maximum mining exposure with dividend income. If you're risk-tolerant and believe small modular reactors are the future, NUKZ positions you for the advanced reactor build-out story. The macro thesis is clear. Artificial intelligence needs massive amounts of reliable power, and nuclear is the only scalable solution that provides 24/7 baseload electricity without carbon emissions. These three ETFs offer different paths to capture that opportunity. Let me know in the comments which ETF interests you most and why. If this analysis was helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more data-driven investment research. Remember, this is not financial advice. Verify all data yourself and consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. The nuclear renaissance is here, and how you position yourself today could determine your portfolio's performance over the next decade. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.